I am in the super secret warehouse with Mr. David Randolph, president of Printed Solid, where we've got some new hotness back here, don't we?
Yeah, literally the day that we were loading the trucks up for Earth, my new third extrusion line just showed up.
And that means more filament, more fast, right?
Exactly, more filament, more fast. But this is great. It gives me a great opportunity because I have equipment not actively in use, so I can pull apart some of the panels and show you the insides and get into the guts of these types of things and let you know how actually the sausage is made.
Yeah, normally if we were going to pull this stuff apart, we would be screaming and cursing because it's incredibly hot. Because the filament runs incredibly hot. Like Heather was saying that the extrusion temp for PETG is around 200 centigrade, which is low for 3D printing, but you have to remember that your little 40-watt heater, that's nothing. Just wait till we get the cover off. How many amps are we talking about of heaters here, or wattage of heaters?
So it really varies on it. To give you an example, there's one part of this that just uses 1400 watts, and that's only one of 6 sections of heaters for this machine. And on average, that's about what we use for each section. We are getting close to 8,000 to 9,000 watts of power running at 220 volts in this configuration.
So the local power company loves you.
Oh, they love me. I actually have a separate electrical meter for each one of my extrusion lines.
Wow, yeah. That's a lot of power. To give you guys an idea, your average 3D printer is a 30 to 40 watt heater, and the high temp ones, or even like a high flow Revo, those are 50 to 60 watt heaters. We're talking 1,400 watts, and there are some really interesting heaters inside of this thing. But before we get to the heaters, let's kind of start at the beginning of this process, because there's something on top of this machine that I haven't seen on any of your other machines.
So this machine, we're kind of stepping it up just a little bit. These are what, dosers, or volumetric feeders.
Okay.
What that means is right now our employees, they actually mix the master batch into the resin and then put it into a giant hopper, which would be sitting on top of the machine.
Right.
Now they literally put the master batch into this, and it will mix it as it's going into the extruder. This allows us to have an additional level of control for accuracy, but it also allows us to have far fewer waste in our transition spools because we can do a lot faster transitions for us.
But I like the transition spools.
We have to store a little bit faster to grab them as they come off.
Seriously, like if you are not constantly checking Printed Solid, by the time the in-stock email goes out, they're gone.
Exactly.
They're gone. And it's fun because you never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates, really.
Do you want a chocolate?
Exactly.
And it's fun because that's the, what color do you want? I don't know. All right, I got just the color because I don't know. I don't know what color it is either.
And there'll never be another spool just like it ever again.
Exactly. That's always the fun thing. So the dosers, you have 2 of them.
So it allows me to actually start the day off with making one color filament and then switch over to the other one to make the next color for that day.
Oh, so that's really convenient. That means you don't need to clean out the machine every single time. See, there's something about this. We talked about it in the previous video where when you're making different colors, you have to purge out. And those of you that have a single extruder, but with a multi-color system like an MMU or an AMS, you realize there's a lot of wasted material. In fact, it's often way more than what you're printing. With dosers like this, you're only cleaning out this little hopper, not the big machine hopper itself. So your waste goes down considerably.
Your waste goes down considerably. You still have to purge out what's in the barrel, but on the scale of things, we're talking 1 to 2 kilograms just to transition between a color.
Yeah.
That's why you also see in our store, we might only have 1 or 2 spools a day pop up because that's all we really waste.
That reduces waste, that increases machine uptime, and ultimately that equals more money on the bottom line. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as you keep it less money on the top line.
That's right. So let's see, after the filament goes in here, it kind of mixes around, the colors get to know each other a little bit, they become friendly, then things get a little hot and heavy, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
So they enter the barrel, which actually runs the length of this machine here. So it's about 4 to 5 feet.
Okay.
Depending on where you want to measure it from. But the first part of it is actually from here to about here.
Okay.
This is the first 4 heat zones. We have to go through 4 separate temperature changes.
Wow.
Just to get where we're going. We have to maintain a fairly large one. And it's all hidden underneath this lid here because we need to control airflow, as well as the amount of heat, this is probably the hottest part of the whole machinery.
Yeah, we were back on the 2 extrusion lines, which apparently Heather is named.
Yes.
Do all the staff have different names for the extrusion lines?
Yes, they do.
Okay. I didn't know if there was a consistent name for the extrusion lines. I tried.
And now that we're back, of course, obviously from, you know, a little accident over here. These are our 4 first zones. So the idea is that this is the whole barrel all the way down. And there's a giant screw, it's a 50mm screw passing through this whole barrel. And it's going to mix the colorant and start to melt everything together into the one beautiful entity. The first zone is a kind of a cool zone. It's trying to soften it up and kind of get everybody together, get them to blend and meld.
Yeah, you know, it's like it's the first date.
You know, it's the first drink of the night.
Yeah.
Then you get your second drink, so you start to get your dance on.
Right.
And what that's really doing is that's starting to force out all the air into it and get the colorant to really mix into it.
Right.
Then the third one, this is after about five shots, and you start going up and you start doing a karaoke. This is where you're really starting to establish exactly what's going on.
Someone's in the crowd yelling Freebird, somebody else is yelling ABBA. Yeah, that's.
And it keeps going through it.
Yeah.
And this is that third song of the night. This is by the time you get onto something, you know, from Frank Sinatra that, you know, you shouldn't have done, but there you go. But now it's worked its way down. In here, it's a little bit more difficult because it's kind of hard to disassemble it. But what it's going to do is it actually has this thing, I like to call it a torpedo.
Okay.
But what it's doing is it takes all of the extrusion and blends it all together and creates this laminar flow for the resin.
Laminar flow is super, super cool. If you don't know about laminar flow, we'll link to a video in the description all about it that Smarter Everyday did. He can explain it way better than we can.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And then it goes out the final nozzle. This is the actual end nozzle here. And it's a little bit bigger than the 175. At one point, it's actually 4mm.
Wow.
And we'll go in the back here, and it comes out, and that's where we start our process from. At this point, we want to start cooling it down so it actually becomes a little bit harder.
Right.
Or it'd just be pouring out the end as liquid, and we couldn't actually make it into string.
Yeah, it gets kind of goopy at that point.
Now, to give you scale on these things, each one of these zones have these giant heater bands here. And this one here is 900 watts as an example.
Jeez.
At 220 volts. And so you get 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 there. And then they have a thermocoupler, which is, you're very used to it. You see that on your printers.
Yeah, it's like a thermistor, just higher temp.
And then once you reach the end there and you're actually hitting that actual torpedo, you need 4 of these 700 watt heaters. This will not fit into an E3D V6. I've tried. Doesn't quite work so well.
Yeah.
That's what we have here. And if I could mount this to the hot end, I would, but this thing weighs about 4,000 pounds.
You said this is basically an injection molding machine, and instead of going into a mold, you're just squeezing it through a little die, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you want to think about it, this is my high flow hot end right here.
Right. Right.
So, pretty good.
With quick change nozzles, technically, but not Revo style.
Yeah, 4 hours to change out a nozzle. That's quick, right?
Does it take that long?
It takes about that long because it does have to be hot swapped. So we have to heat it up before we can actually do it. We've got the, you know, the thermal gloves and all the right tools and all those type of things, and properly grounding yourself so you don't get electrocuted, everything like that.
It just hit me up. Of course it has to be hot, because otherwise there's just random bits of plastic there that's going to weld the freaking thing together.
Not only that, but we're talking half a kilogram of plastic in there. It's not a nozzle with a little bit you could break off. You can't chisel it off with a hammer. And when you clean the barrels and all that type of stuff, it has to be hot. Yeah. Because it's not like it's not little tiny prints or anything. This is a lot of plastic we're dealing with.
Well, and this is why a lot of people are pretty much going to the 1.75mm standard, because changing out those dies is just a monumental pain in the butt. And unless you have dedicated lines for running the 2.85mm, you guys are changing out those dies every now and then.
Exactly, and we still have to change them out, because if you ever look at your nozzle, you'll see that little bit of black crust that gets up around the nozzle. It happens on a larger scale with this. So we have to clean this regularly, at least once a week for us.
Wow.
So it has to get disassembled, tore apart, and actually cleaned out. That's a major expense, because you can imagine it takes a day to get through that process.
Easy.
So we can lose a day just cleaning out this machine every week.
Yeah. we got to have you back on the podcast to kind of talk about those unforeseen expenses in business. One of them is labor, right? Labor is a big thing, and if you're not exactly expecting some sort of, hey, we got to stop and clean the machine, that tends to be a bit of a problem, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I have to factor all that in. I literally have to take the entire cumulative hours of my workers over an entire week and divide that by the actual filament.
Yeah.
So that I can properly put in actual maintenance into the cost.
Yep. Yep. See, it's more to business than just, I make part, I sell part, I make money. No, there's way more than that goes into it, especially when you're talking about extrusion lines of this size.
Absolutely.
Because these are on 3-phase 480. That's not something that you can get in, regular areas. Go ahead and call your local power company and ask for 3-phase 480 and just listen to them laugh at you because they can't help you. This is industrial. This is what industrial scale manufacturing looks like for filament.
And you have to be in the right part of town, because a lot of parts of town don't have 3-phase going to them.
Right. We
got lucky in our facility in the early days, because I shopped for it and found it, and the building we're in is 3-phase, but each one of those phases feeds single phase to all of the other buildings in our complex. So if I was in any other building in this exact same parking lot, I couldn't do this easily. There are what they call rotary phase inverters, but that's a huge waste of electricity.
Yeah, they're big, they can be noisy if they're slightly out of balance. Yeah, big expense, you don't want to do it. TLDR, leave it to the professionals at Printed Solid to do it, okay? Like, it's that simple. And guys, if you are looking for some of the best filament around, you gotta check out Printed Solid. But I was told that I have to do a bunch of work now.
Yeah, so you wanted to know all our secrets and how we make filament.
Yeah.
That means that you're gonna have to work for me for a day.
Okay, well, I guess I can't keep wearing this shirt then, because this is my merch coming soon.
We have to get you in proper attire.
Gotta get me in the right color. Let's get into it, because this is we're gonna make our own custom filament, and I am kind of really freaking excited. And this is partly because you're bringing out the new colors.
That's right.
Elixir.
We have the Elixir. So what I need help for making it is that Elixir doesn't come out the same color as the colorant I put in. And we've got to make some test batches before we can go any further.
We're gonna try. And hey, if the color is really cool, maybe there'll be a live stream coming up where we give some of it away. You guys should stay tuned for that. But, I think it's time to get to work, because clock's ticking and lunch is in a couple hours. So
that's right.
We got to at least get started so we can roll the filament while we're gone at lunch.
Let's go.
All right. We'll see you guys on the line. We're in the not-so-secret warehouse now, and we're ready to get some work done. We are going to be making a silver Elixir. And so talk to me about the process of actually making, coloring, and then mixing it for filament.
So here's the thing, in most cases, I can get a master batch made that's the actual color and it looks like the plastic we're going to be making.
Right.
The problem is that with Elixir, what we do is we are technically taking PLA and we're contaminating it with TPU. Now what that does though is that the shades of color just shoot way off the chart, so it looks nowhere close to what we actually do. That's the next hardest problem we have to solve with recreating Polyalchemy's Elixir.
Okay.
One of the nice things is that when they shut down their operations, is that they did have some of their powder to base some information off of. The problem is we're using a slightly different resins. We use master batch and not powder.
Right.
So we have to convert all that over, which is requiring us to take some of the powder that they left us, which wasn't very much, and make some test batches to send off to labs to get color matched and make some good educated guesses and get the colors really close to where they were. The problem is that they used powder. We use master batch.
Right, the master batch are like the pellets of color. Right?
It looks like pellets of color, so the ink is actually locked into it so it doesn't get all over your hands and can mess up everything. Powder is really pure ink. And
we're worried about this now.
And so we're going to be literally adding a pure ink to the resins and pouring it through our machines, and it's going to stain everything. So, I'll have the workers, after we're done, they get the wonderful job of having to clean up after all our messes. And when I say it's very concentrated, that's how much powder it takes to literally do kilograms.
Kilograms for that one bag of powder.
That's that one bag of powder. That's how much it will handle.
But this looks black.
This looks black, but this will be silver. Because, like I said, it literally will jump up several shades of color. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a hockey puck of this out of just PLA. And then the rest, we're going to mix in that TPU at our little special ratios. And we will extrude that out, and you'll see it comes out silver rather than jet black.
You purchased the Polyalchemy Elixir recipe and the rights to the name Elixir a little bit ago, right? There's a cool story for this, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
The owner of the Elixir name and brand and all the recipes and stuff like that, he really wanted to sell, but he contacted me on Thanksgiving evening. One of the conditions was, I had to buy all the inventory.
Yep.
So, of course, it's the day right before Black Friday, so I immediately then sold all the Elixir on that Black Friday. I didn't expect to get through it all, but we got through it all.
That was when I my credit card cried a little bit, but it was worth it.
But we bought that whole thing on that evening.
Yeah.
And that was without me fully knowing the recipe, all the supply chains, all the issues we were going to have to face.
It was effectively sight unseen to buy a non-trivial amount of a company.
Right.
This is sometimes you're like, this is my opportunity. I'm going to take it, and we're going to figure out the rest of it when it occurs, right?
Exactly. And I was like, no problem. I'll figure it all out.
Yeah.
But some of the special ingredients that we have to use in this recipe, there were no United States places to buy it from. Mm-hmm. And when you're in the resin game, companies say no to customers a lot.
Right.
They literally sit there and go, we don't want to sell to you. And they do that all the time. So you have to coach them and talk to them and convince them and get on their wait list and those type of things, because they have fixed amounts, but they have other suppliers that they have to keep stocked all the time.
Right.
So you have to slide in there and work out the deals and do all that type of stuff. And I've been spending the last 2 years taking a lot of companies out to lunch, trying to convince them to pick up suppliers from overseas that have those special secret ingredients I need in order to get Elixir just right.
Ever since it was purchased, and then now Elixir has become effectively impossible to buy. Everyone has been looking for it, and a lot of us are very hesitant to use the stuff that we have because we don't want to run out. But that also means we know exactly what it looks like. So the match, even though you have some of the powder, is nowhere near as easy as you might think. It's going to require us to run a 25 kilogram sample batch. Yeah, 25 kilos is a sample, and I'm told that I'm going to be doing all the work.
Yes, you're going to be doing all the work, and I will be judging you based off Brad's numbers.
Yeah, so those that don't know, Brad is a staff member of ours, and Brad made his own custom color a couple of years ago during the human malware times, and he made what is called, and I know this is a name you weren't expecting, Brad's Orange. It's actually available on printed solid. We'll link to it in the description down below. But Brad, at the time, was so young, you couldn't do anything with that filament. And in fact, I have one of those original spools. I will never use it. It's very special to me, right? There was only so many that he made that day, and he said that he wanted to give one to me. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, because it's a very special moment to me. But this is not that.
No.
This is, we're gonna watch Grant ride the struggle bus today, and you guys are gonna enjoy the fact that you're gonna enjoy it the most.
I'll be sitting in the back laughing.
But without further ado, I guess it's time to glove up or shut up, right?
That is right.
All right, safety first, right?
Well, because you're gonna get on a plane later this afternoon, and it's probably a good idea not to have silver on your fingers.
All right, so the first step is...
You're going to start shoveling off kilograms of PLA.
I know not many people have PLA, but just the feeling of putting your hand into a bucket of PLA, it's a really fun feeling.
Pouring is, dumping is also fun.
I can't pick that up, I promise you. All right, so we just got to start.
Do it till you hit.
Do it till you hit.
Very satisfying.
Oh, no, can't go that high. Some of them are bouncing out. These get a lot of static in them too, don't they?
They really do. We do have to worry about static around here, so all of our equipment is grounded. Just not our people. I like them to be shocked with what they do. The great thing is that those pellets, if you weigh out 2 kilograms, you're going to be making about 2 kilograms worth of filament.
You might be. I don't think I'm going to be making 2 kilos of filament.
Oh no, you're going to fail wonderfully.
I am unreasonably nervous right now. I don't get nervous for stuff like this, but today I'm very nervous because I respect what you guys do here, and I appreciate that you're letting me see how it's all made. Oh, come on. Damn it! Probably should take just a little bit more, or is it close enough?
That's perfect.
Okay. Of course, I was trying so hard. Of course it went over.
So here is the batch of powder.
Wow. Take a look at that.
Looks black, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks totally black.
It'll be silver by the time we're done.
And just kind of
Just
sprinkle
loosely
it in.
sprinkle it around.
This doesn't, it doesn't feel right to do this.
Now, with your hand, still mix it in a little bit because we're going to start the mixer up. We don't want the powder to become too airborne.
Right, that would be kind of bad.
And you're just kind of getting it in loosely.
This is the most satisfying part of this, isn't it?
It's nice when you work on days that you're going so fast it's kind of warm. It feels like a hot tub.
A hot tub of plastic.
Yes. Now shut the lid.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, already the gloves have a lot of silver on them.
That's how it works. Shut the lid. And then we'll slowly just start it up. We don't even have to latch them.
Okay.
Now underneath the hood here, it's mixing everything up.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do here is something that you shouldn't do very often. I'm going to go ahead and hold down the safety switch so you can actually see the mixing.
Okay, that's super cool. Oh, that is mesmerizing. Oh, that is mesmerizing. I can definitely see why you don't want to, yeah.
Now leave that up. But now what I need you to do is
That's
take your hands. Well, no, we got a little bit more to do here.
Okay.
You got to take your hands and you're going to wipe the paddles from the undersides, like underneath there and stuff.
Okay.
And you're wiping off the powder and whatnot.
Okay.
Because it does get kind of stuck in there and we just want to make sure we kind of wipe it off and we want to get really good even distribution.
Okay.
And no matter how much stirring we do, it'll never be perfect. So we follow along.
There are some paddles down here too, or do I have to worry about those?
Yeah, just wipe off the sides of those.
Okay. I'm glad that I took a look at this before we started because I don't know if I would be able to find all the paddles. And these are just like pieces of aluminum, right? Or are they steel?
They're steel.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
These are these are real kitchen mixers.
Oh yeah, look at the. You can see the extra pigment that ends up on the gloves.
There you go. Now we'll shut it up and give it another good 10-15 seconds to stir.
All right.
All right, now we're ready to make our puck because we're not going to add in that TPU mix yet.
Right.
What we're going to do is we're going to extrude this puck out, and that's what we're going to send off to the lab to get them to make that master batch for us.
Okay.
So this has already been stained by all the powders. This is why we don't like powders here.
Yep.
And when we're done with these coloring tests, we're literally going to be throwing a bunch of these away just so we don't ever run into any possible problems. But get yourself about half a pitcher worth of that. Actually, a whole pitcher worth. There we go.
It would be half a pitcher if it was one of our staff. Since it's you, it's going to be the full pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's head in there and let's go make that puck we need for the lab.
Okay. Here we're just go ahead and adding the little sample pitcher that we poured earlier. And this is going to make that puck that we were talking about. Once we get this in there, nice and full, we then shut the lid and we start to make the puck.
Yep. So I'm going to grab the puck here because it's a little specialized, but this is just for what we're going to send off to the lab.
Yeah.
After we get the puck out, then we'll do the other work.
Okay.
Right now we've actually started up the screw and it's going to push out all of the clear resin that we had in there before we started the day. And we're trying to actually build up the pressure and get that new mixed color to come out. And so it is just pouring out of there and then it dumps into a bowl underneath of it that we'll use for later. But here in a minute or two, or about 30 seconds, you'll see it actually change colors. You can see it's starting to get a little milky and that's because it's starting to switch over and it should start getting silver here pretty quick. Now you'll see that little hopper is empty, so add even more pellets to it.
Oh yeah, it's very empty.
Keep going, fill it all the way up. We gotta get that silver out. This barrel itself actually holds about 1 kilogram of material just inside of it alone.
Wow. Oop. I keep dropping little bits of pellets. Oh, dude, that is so cool.
So you can actually see that it's starting to change its color.
Yeah.
And I'm going to grab a puck off of this, and you'll see me do it. And that is what we'll send to the factory. It's literally that little blob right there for them to play with.
But that doesn't look like silver.
It doesn't have to look like silver yet, because when we're done and we add a special TPU mix, that's when we'll start to see the actual color. And now we're literally just waiting for the barrel to run out before we do the next step. These pucks I'm literally just going to leave on the machine. They're going to stay there. So you see here, this is still the puck. And if you pinch it, you'll see it's very warm, but it's still soft.
Yep, real warm, real soft.
So you gotta get the, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm a weenie. We know this.
Brad could handle it.
I know he could.
And we'll literally leave those there for a couple of hours to cool down, get hardened, and we'll send that off to the lab to get the final mix made.
Very cool.
All right, so now we've made our hockey pucks out there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna send those off, like I said, we're gonna send those off to the lab, and we're gonna get those colors matched, and then we'll be able to do some more testing again. And once we get it just right, then we'll be able to move that to the next phase and start making Elixir full-fledged, no more test batches, but the actual final product. Now what we do is we have to start adding the secret ingredient, which is TPU.
Very super secret.
Yes. And we're going to add kilograms to that, to what we already mixed up. And that stretching that the TPU is going to do kind of in it, it's really contaminant. And we're looking at the contamination as the shine.
And that is what leads to silk filament in general having relatively low layer adhesion, because the super secret sauce of TPU doesn't really bond very well at lower temperatures.
It also doesn't bond very well with just PLA in general.
That's fair. It doesn't bond well to pretty much anything other than itself.
For the most part, it does really good actually bonding well to PEI.
That's right. How many of you out there have had a TPU part destroy your print bed? Let us know in those comments.
So go ahead and let's go add the next ingredient.
Grant's gonna oh, I can't overshoot this one, can I? Because I can't get it back out.
That's right.
Ah, crap.
This is where we find out if you're fired or not. Brad got it right.
Brad got it right. Brad wasn't doing this. Okay, this should be the last scoop, theoretically.
If you're right.
Yeah.
There you go.
I did something right. You saw it here first, everybody. I did something right.
All right, now what we're gonna do is we will fire up the mixer and we wait. How long to your flight?
3 days later.
All right, let's see how we're looking.
Yeah, it looks like somewhat silver powder.
Silverish powder.
Yeah.
Works out pretty well.
It's very interesting how some of it is darker than others.
That's because the powder will actually stick better to the TPU than it will to the PLA.
That makes sense because the TPU is a very sticky material. But that TPU was just put in there.
And these mixers do a real good job getting it over everything. That's why your hands, you have to wear gloves.
Yeah.
It's all over you.
I'm sure like part of my arm has touched it at some point. I'll have like a little random silver spot.
All right, so the next step.
This never doesn't get not fun. It doesn't. It's like playing with sand.
So the next step will be to fill up our buckets.
How do we do that?
By hand.
Okay. All right.
Go for it.
I looked out and I just saw it. I'm like, I'm gonna do it, but like, it's gonna get a lot of mess. And then I see this, which is the proverbial ice coming out of the funnel thing. About like that. Pull it up.
That's right.
And let it rip.
That's it.
Oh, that is a satisfying sound, though. How far you want to go in the buckets?
All the way up.
Okay. I'm worried about spilling. So I have a feeling I'm carrying these buckets.
That's right. But it's not water, so it doesn't shift around.
That's fair.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that is my limit of comfort. Something tells me you can just turn on the mixer and hold it open and it dumps it all out.
So just pull it out.
Pull this out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But we generally don't do that until we know there's less than a bucket left.
Ah.
Now you gotta get all the other little tidbits into the bucket.
Yep. Then we have to wipe down the machine, right?
Well, we leave that for Heather.
Okay. I want Heather to like me.
She likes you already. She likes everyone.
Okay.
She likes me on payday when I give her a paycheck.
I mean, that's fair. I guess you probably have to run it real quick to get it from the other side, or am I just supposed to? Okay. Yep. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, the static is crazy. It's like, oh god. Oh. Man, you scared me. Yeah. Oh my. Look at that. There was still a lot of colorant in there that didn't get mixed in.
It's stuck to the side of the bowl and everything.
Yeah.
So that's what requires a lot of cleaning just to do that. That's why we have to switch over to master batch.
Right. Because the master batch doesn't have that problem.
Now here's the good part. You can deglove because you're never going to touch those pellets again.
Okay. Now I got to get these two big buckets into the extrusion line. So let's like farmer's carry, man. Didn't know it was leg and back day, but it is. One bucket at a time, right?
Just one bucket's worth.
Yeah, all right. One bucket. Oh my God, the static. Holy crap.
You touched it, didn't you?
Yep.
Say.
I'm all right. I'm all right, I did. Yep, I touched it. She's like, you touch it with your hands, you dingus. Yep, I did.
All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you how to actually start to thread the machine, and then you're gonna have to do it yourself.
All right.
I'm gonna stop it, and then you're gonna have to do it yourself.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start up the extruder here,
Okay.
and we're gonna give it a minute to purge out what's in there. And would you do me a favor and actually close the gates
Oh yeah, I got it.
so
Yep.
that we actually start getting
So I gotta go
pellets to
here and just push
through.
it in?
Yep. Very
All right.
satisfying.
It is very satisfying, yes.
And now we'll start to wait for material to come out. Now, we can't start to use the material right away because it's been sitting in a barrel for a minute or two.
Yeah, so it's kind of nasty. It's crystallizing, right?
Well, it's not only, it's actually liquefying at this point.
Oh.
So it's going to come out in weird little spurts, and we want it to kind of get to an even flow before we start. This is the exciting part of the job. This is where we sit there and go da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Or, you know, this is the perfect time to play that little video. Let's go out to the movies. Let's go out to the movies.
Mmm, sticky.
The sticky mess.
No kidding.
All right, and I'm gonna actually do a quick little slide here.
You want me to put it to a number for you?
There we
That's
go.
at 50.
We'll speed up the process here. And as you can see, it's still not coming smooth. It's still building the pressure inside of the barrel. And you see the little spurts and spatters and stuff like that.
Right.
We're waiting for it to actually get up.
Will it be very obvious when the 11 herbs and spices start coming through?
Yes, we should definitely see the color change to the new, more silverish color.
Nice.
There you go.
There it is.
Now what I'm gonna do is I'll turn the speed down ever so slightly.
What do you want the number at? About 8?
Right about there.
You did 8 on the money.
Now you can see the silver. See how the color changed so much?
Cool.
So now we let it kind of settle down so it doesn't spurt much more anymore.
Yep.
And I'm literally going to cut it, kind of capture, whoops, I missed. Cut it, make it start on the string, capture it. And now I gotta drag it through the water and keep space, not allowed to stop.
Wow, that's fast.
And then what I'll do is I'll literally feed it into the tractor. Whoops. And hopefully I caught it. I think I missed it. Let me see, I think I actually missed it. All right. So pretend like that cut didn't happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Even it doesn't work for me. So if it doesn't go perfectly,
I
that's
feel a
why.
little bit better about that, honestly. The fact, like, see, if you had done it perfectly the first time, I'm like, I have something really big. But see, the audience doesn't know that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now Heather gets it perfect because she does it every day.
Yeah.
This is me getting out of practice. Ready to try again? All right, so now we have it at the silver. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut it and capture it, get a little glob on it. And now we're going to, whoops, I missed it. So we'll try again. There we go. Oh, missed it.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
We work our way down. Ah, screwed up again.
Oh, well, almost got it.
Want me to do it?
You know what? We're gonna call in the expert for this one.
Call in the ringer. So we tried some more. What we realized is we need the ringer, or the spooler, I guess, for this. We're bringing in the expert. We're phoning a friend, if you will. We're using a lifeline. We're going to be bringing in Heather, who's going to show us really how this is done. So let's get some stuff on some spools.
Let's go.
Yeah. That color got way brighter. Oh,
Yep.
because there's just raw PLA in there now.
Yep, now the PLA is purging out. This is what I'm looking for right here, that puddle as it's coming up.
Yeah.
So it's giving me nice, even, smooth, round circles.
Right.
That's telling me that the PLA is all the way through, where
Okay.
there's not any junk material left behind.
Right.
I say this looks good to start.
Am I supposed to grab it?
No,
No? All right.
I'm just waiting for anything that may have dropped down and gave it like a ridge or anything like that.
Now we're closing the dryer doors so we can make sure we get all the water off the filament so it's not wet filament.
We're turning on the fan.
And that alarm that you see, that's the laser measuring alarm. And that is telling us, hey, we're out of spec, we're out of spec, we're out of spec. But we
Right.
know that because, you know,
We hear the alarm
Working.
going off.
that alarm I would hear in my sleep. I'd have nightmares of it. There's the spooling process. Just making a lot of figure eights. Every spool gets one line of filament.
Up and over, up and over.
And this is the accumulator. This is the device that actually keeps tension on the filament, especially when you're in between. So when one spool finishes and the other spool starts, you need to have this because otherwise you end up with a puddle on the ground.
Coming all the way over. Starting the accumulator.
So cool. Under that, door gets shut.
Now you're locked in. If you'd like to take over,
Sure.
you're gonna feed it through this hole.
Okay. Feed it.
Yep, and then under that one, through that hole.
Uh-huh.
Then you just pull it straight over to the spool.
Oh, over to the spool. Okay.
Keep going. You're gonna give it like a little figure eight wrap around. Yep, and then get your piece of tape.
Tape it up.
Give her a couple spins. Okay, you're gonna come over here. You're gonna hit debug mode. You're gonna hit off.
Coiling off.
Yep, because now it's turning on.
Okay.
Then you're gonna come over here. Now how we keep everything in range, we're gonna turn this up to 12.
Okay.
Now we have to come down here really quick.
Then we gotta
We're
turn
gonna
this up
turn
too.
this up the extruder gets turned up to 19.5.
Okay.
That's good. Then we'll come back down here where we got to speed it up or else our material is going to be extremely large. Going to turn that to about 21.5. We're going to start the computer, making sure our filament is within the grooves on the laser.
Okay. And those grooves will help make sure that it's getting it at the right angle, right?
Yes, it helps pull it evenly.
Yeah.
Now the computer will take a minute to calm down.
Right. Because now everything's starting to catch up.
Yes,
more or less,
now it's
right?
kind of going back and forth between high and low.
Right.
Then it settles in the middle.
Okay.
Grab our trash
And in that
out of the
time,
way.
we've just been spooling over here. This just looks like regular PLA because it is. We put some PLA in the machine to assist in the spooling process because, well, Elixir is kind of tough.
Drop our bead before our line breaks.
Yeah, we don't want that because then we gotta
Then you have to watch the
do
accumulator.
the whole thing over again,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah. And so now we just kind of wait for...
Now we're just waiting because our screen is telling us this is how much material is out of range.
Okay.
So this is our good material coming in range.
Yep.
I give it about a spool
Okay.
because you'll still hear the machine trying to get everything in range.
Yeah, it's chirping a little bit.
But it also will chirp a little bit because of the material we're doing. The TPU does make it a little bit noisy, but it stays within range.
This is super cool. Those pucks have all cooled down?
Yeah, they don't take long to cool down.
Oh, yeah.
It's still hot.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of heat in them. Still super cool, though. That's crazy that that is silver.
Now the silver is coming through.
Oh, yeah. You can just barely see it starting.
So as soon as the
It's
color
silver.
comes all the way through, I'll change the spool out.
Dude. That is super cool.
All right, I'm calling it. Need those clippers. Now I'm going to coil off. I'm going to cut my line. I'm going to tape it to the spool. I'm going to unscrew the nut. I'm going to toss that in the trash because it's no good since it's out of range. I'm going to put on the new spool with the nut. We're going to reset so the machine can reset its count.
And now, are we going to feed through the
Now
little
we're
straw
going to
thing?
feed through the straw.
Yeah.
I'll let you change the next spool.
All right, I'm excited for this.
This way you don't have to feed the straw. I'm going to loosen the nut to let my filament come out of the side, lock the nut down, and I'm going to start the machine. I'm turning on a fan to blow off any little dust particles that land on the material.
Right, right. That's amazing. That is super, super cool.
Okay, so when you come over here to change your spool,
Yep.
this is going to go up. You're going to cut the line.
Yep.
You're going to grab your tape. You're going to tape it. You're going to unspool the nut. You're going to take the old spool off. You're going to put a new one on. You're going to hit reset.
Okay.
And then once you get the line through the hole and you have your nut tightened down.
Wait, am I not cutting it on this side of the hole? I'm cutting it over here?
No. You're going to cut it on this side of the
Okay.
hole.
Oh, and then the hole in the spool. Got it, got it,
Right.
got it.
And then once you get everything reset, you'll hit start after you have your nut locked down.
Okay.
I'll walk you through it. Hold the line
hold.
against the spool.
Hold the line against the spool. Let me do that there. Hold the line against the spool. Cut.
Cut. Get your
Put
piece
that
of
away.
tape.
Get the piece of tape. That's a lot of tape. Oh well. Hold it like that. Piece of tape on the filament.
There you go. That's good.
It's not great. Then we
It's on there.
take that off.
Take that off. Flatten that down.
Flatten this down.
Nope. You just flatten your piece of tape down. That's
yep.
good.
Flatten the piece of tape down. Put that over there.
Grab your spool.
Grab a new spool.
Reset.
This one here.
Yep.
Okay. Reset. Did I hit the reset button?
Yes, you did. Now you're
Okay.
going to put your nut on.
Oh, the nut. Okay.
A little
Oh.
bit. Leave yourself some room so you can pull the line through.
Yeah. Oh crap.
That's okay.
Well,
You got time.
we expected this. Okay, we got some line through.
Yep. Now you can tighten that nut down all the way. Now what you're gonna do, you don't have to do it that tight, but okay. You wanna make sure that these are evenly on there, into the grooves.
We always want to be in the groove, yo.
And now you can hit start.
I can hit start.
And there you go, you changed your spool.
Oh man, that accumulator got a distance.
You were a little late, but that's okay, it was your first time.
Yeah, it's not always you're a little bit slow your first time, so I'll take it.
Yeah, that's okay. It gets faster as you have repetition.
So from here, this one, oh no, that's your spool. This is my spool. It's all screwed up.
You can have whatever one.
Well, no, I want to go through the whole process.
So what you're going to do is you're going to lay your spool flat where this is sticking up.
Okay, like this.
You're going to take your little cutters.
The same cutters? Different cutters? Okay.
There you go. Take your cutters, cut the line all the way down to where it doesn't poke out.
Okay,
there you go. That's good. There you go. And now that's going to be a PLA stamp. So you're going to take your stamp here.
Right there?
Yep. PLA. You're going to take a JESSIE'S stamp and put it on the other side.
Oh, the JESSIE stamp, this one.
Yep.
On the other side.
Now you can take your label and put it underneath.
My label.
There you go. Right in the center is fine.
There. Oh, it's stuck.
That's okay.
There we go. We're good.
And now you can grab one of your bags.
Actually, what I want to first do, grab a marker.
Autograph.
Yep. Autograph it. Where are the bags?
And the bags are on the bottom shelf.
The bags are on the bottom shelf.
Now the easiest way you can do it that way. Yep, that's perfect.
I
got it in the bag. Good job.
Okay. All right. I was watching.
Wait a minute, you're going too fast.
I need a desiccant.
You need a desiccant.
In the middle?
No, on the side.
On the side.
There you go.
Okay.
Now, with this, I'm going to show you.
Okay.
You want to make sure that it's all the way down in there.
Yep.
You want to make sure that this is flat. Now you can shut the door. It might not seal it all the way because you didn't do it fast enough, but that's okay.
Oh.
When you shut the door, you're thinking about like shutting the door, like shut.
Oh, okay.
But that's good. You got a good seal.
That's pretty good.
Everything looks good. It's nice and bumpy here, so we know you got a tight seal. It's not coming apart.
So, PLA, printed solid, test. Let's do red this time. Got some on the building. Of course you did, Grant. That opens up. In
with
the desiccant.
Desiccant.
Make sure it's in the bag at the bottom.
In the bag.
In here.
Make it nice and flat.
Just like that. That looks good.
Still got a lump.
A lump.
A lump. You want it flat.
Oh, okay.
Now shut the door.
And shut the lid like it owes me money, right?
Yep. Like, you didn't come here with my money, bruh?
Yeah.
Slam.
I love that. That's the coolest. Check. Got lumps everywhere. It's nice and warm. And that means that's another one. Okay, it's time to do it again. All right. Huh? Oh, all right. No supervision. We're going to send it.
You got it.
That cut goes in there. We get the tape.
You got it. You got it.
Against the spool. Hold it with my thumb. Tape it. There. Undo it because you did it too tight the first time. We're going to hit the reset button because we got to reset it. We're going to go over to here. We're going to toss it there. Grab this. Oh, it reset faster than I needed to. No big deal. Got to pull a little bit through. Spool it out. Give me enough. Come here. Grab it. Make sure the coils are happy. All right. Got to do a few on our own. Heather, can you verify that we're good?
Perfect. Hit
All right,
start.
hit the start.
Good job. Not that, you got a little quicker this time.
I'm like talking myself through it. There you have it. that is how we take just raw pellets and turn them into awesome filament that you can get over at Printed Solid. It was an amazing time learning all about the super secrets that go to making Elixir, now JESSIE'S Elixir. I am so excited, and I hope you guys are too, because this silver material that is running right here will soon be available for purchase. So keep an eye on Printed Solid, and a huge thank you to Dave, Heather, and the entire crew for showing us awesome hospitality, letting us hang out and film quite literally anything that we wanted. It is so cool to learn how the sausage, or I guess in this case filament, is made here at Printed Solid. But Grant, you did some of these spools yourself, which means they probably suck and can't be sold. And yes, you would technically be somewhat accurate there. We're gonna do you one better. We're gonna have an upcoming live stream where we give away some of the spools that were made right here at Printed Solid. So stay tuned, leave a comment below, let us know what color of Elixir that you wanna see. And it's not just the colors that Polyalchemy had, because Jessie, she's gonna have her own set of colors. And hopefully coming soon, we're gonna be making our own custom color, because we have some cool ideas to make a custom color. But you know, when you have the opportunity to make some Elixir, you absolutely change your plans last minute. And I am so glad that we did, because this stuff is super cool. Way more cool than like a blue PETG that we were originally planning on. But guys, I want to give a huge thank you to all of our supporters who made this trip possible. Thank you to every one of you. And those with the $5 tier and higher are right next to me. Thank you, because without your generous support, we could not be here doing cool stuff like this. And of course, a big thank you to Printed Solid as well for letting us come in and let me get to muck up the place for a couple of hours. But stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. Oh, nice. Thanks, Dave. Oh, you good? I caught that. Consistent name for the extrusion light. I tried.
That's okay.
I tried to break the fall.
You tried to break the fall. That's all right. It's brand new. We're fine.